What is going on, guys? This is All Gaming with my review of No Game, No Life episode 7, and this episode, it was definitely interesting because we focus on a character that's dead, and our main star here is actually Stephanie's grandfather, the former king, because this guy is freaking smart. Now, I will get into that, but I gotta say, this guy, he was definitely a man with a plan. But the episode itself, overall, it was pretty good. I do like all the information that we got because it is definitely important. But the episode itself, where it starts off with is very funny because we see now that Steph, Shiro, and Jubari, they're all like taking this bath. And of course we have Sora here, we have Sora that cannot see them, and so he's like sitting there and in the background, and we see now out of nowhere that Jubari, she now appears, and apparently she has this very special Fugal shampoo, and this shampoo definitely is like more than meets the eye, because we see now that when she does use it, it shoots out kind of like this whip, and we see it now wrapping around Shiro and Steph's body, and we see now that Shiro here, she actually gets annoyed, and she actually treats Jubari like a dog, as she made her sit there and just watch them. It was hilarious the way that Sora here was like crying over the fact that Shiro has really come into terms with like being Jubari's master. And so now we see that the kitchen of the castle, it is now actually have been remade, and it looks, it looks a lot different. It looks almost out of this world to how it looked previously, and then now I guess you could say like very high fantasy level of a kitchen, rather than looking normal than how it used to be. And so we see Steph now, she's in the kitchen, and we see that Sora will let her cook anything that she wants to, and we actually see now that when she is cooking, she starts thinking about Sora, and she has like this lovely look on her face, and obviously she's in love with Sora, and this love right here is actually a legit love. It's not love that like cut from a bed, but it's actually real love, and of course Steph here does not want to admit that, but it's true. And so we see what she made now. It was like this huge pile of donuts. And so when she was carrying them, I'm surprised that she actually, made that much. But we see now that, she has high hopes for Sora. And we see that when she does get there and she sees what they're like talking about, it immediately, dies down. And earlier in the episode, at the beginning, it was hilarious how she was saying that she almost felt bad that she's getting used to this atmosphere that is around, our main characters. And that part right there was like really funny. But we see now that Sora, he wants more information about these werebeasts because obviously he does want to go against them and win their land. And we see now that Jubari, she actually did bet against them, and to our surprise here, she did lose. And when she lost, she had all her memories of the game wiped from her mind. So it's not like she could give them any tips. But we see now that when she is, when she is describing the werebeast people, we see how they look, and obviously they look a lot more primal and vicious compared to how Sora imagines them. And it's hilarious, how they both have these like different comparisons. And I do hope that they definitely do not look the way that Sora wants them to. But from the preview that we saw for this episode, it's obvious that at least some of them do. So I was kind of hoping to see what his reaction would be if he saw all of his hopes and dreams being crushed like that, but having these werebeasts not look anything like he imagined. And so now we see that because Drew, she has no memories of the games, and because they can also read their opponent's minds, it would seem that the werebeasts, they are quite impossible to beat. But obviously, that might not be the case, because there was actually someone that did challenge them, like over the years. And we see now that I believe like in the last decade, we had like Samurai challenge them, I believe, 8 times in total. And so when they were trying to figure out who it was, you see Steph in the background kind of freaking out, and obviously that was like hinting at who it could be. And so Jubari here, she got this bright idea, like rather than like telling them, because Shiro did find a book that would give them the answer to that, she thought it would like be better to show them. So like immediately she made everybody hold on to her, and she like teleported them away, and they were like flying through the air. And I also forgot that we saw Kurumi here in this episode as well. And so we see like she was in some kind of spring, like taking a bath, and we have her elf friend, I believe her name was Fee. She had now came there with like some food and other supplies. So right now, Kurumi, she is still very salty about what she lost to Sora and Shiro, and she definitely wants payback because she still thinks that they're like working with some other race, even though they aren't. And now that they have the Fugu at their side, she's definitely really suspicious about them. And so now she really wants to get Sora back because she was saying that that he did mock her, and so now she wants payback. But I am glad that that Kurumi is still around because her character, I do feel like she could be a powerful ally if she did join them and check out over her laws. But now we see that when our main characters were like flying around, they came across this one tower, and obviously they begin to put the pieces together, and they figured out that it was actually Stephanie's grandfather that challenged the race and had lost 8 times in a row. And so now they go back into the library, and we see that Sora here, he is now in despair, and that right there was hilarious. But we see now that he actually trying to figure out why in the world would Stephanie's grandfather do this. And he kept insulting him, and that right there was like really getting to Steph because obviously she loved her grandfather and she had the faith in him. So of course she didn't want to hear anybody bad mouthing him. But Sora, he took it way too far, and he actually made Steph cry. And we see now that she had ran off, and we see that I believe she had went to her room, or maybe she did go to the king bedroom. But now she was like laying down, and we see that she actually had this key. And now we get this like hilarious flashback at first because we see a young Steph with her grandfather, and we see that Steph overheard these guards talking about all these books that the public cannot get their hands on, and it was obvious what that was. But even her grandfather said that was like another key, and the key he had was like the key of hope. And he said one day he'll give this key to her, and she'll get a key to somebody she can trust with humanity's fate. And so now we see Jubilee. She now appears, and she wants Steph to go back to the library where Sora is. And when she does get there, we see Sora, and he like reading all of these books, trying to figure out why in the world was Steph's grandfather challenge these people, knowing that he'll lose every time. And so eventually, when Steph does get there, she like listen to him talking to Jubilee, and we see that Sora, he has like no faith in humanity at all. He believes that they're all crap, but what he does believe in is their potential, and that's because of because of Shiro. And so we see, or we learn actually, that the Sora met Shiro about 8 years ago, and I believe when he met her, she was 3. So obviously they aren't like real brother and sister, but they are close like real siblings. And when they first met, the first words that Shiro said to Sora, it was that he was like really empty, because Sora was the kind of guy that would like smile and laugh because other people were like doing that. But when he met Shiro, she opened his eyes, and for the first time, she like really moved his heart. So that right there, what a touching moment. And I am glad that Shiro is so important to him. And now I get why these two must always be together, because they have such a powerful bond. And I definitely like that a lot. But now, because Steph heard those words, she finally came around, and she actually gave Sora that key. And so now we see that the Sora and Shiro, well Sora mainly, he thinks that key was like to a porn stash, and that was there, which is so freaking hilarious. But we see now that they already found that, because it was the first night that they stayed in his room, and when Shiro had fell off the bed, that's when they found that. But they also found like these secret switches and levers that had led to where this like secret room was. So basically, when they get there, they find the old king, old journal, and we see now that the reason that he had bet people so much, it was because he had wanted to learn their weakness, and it wasn't that he was doing this to lose, but he was doing it for knowledge. So this guy was like definitely smart. He was like on Sora level of being smart, and I definitely like that, because the people look down on the humans so much, they had no need to erase his memories. So they kept going easy on him to make him believe that he could win, and he kept challenging them, to learn their weakness and to exploit them. So basically, this guy, the old king, he took the ultimate gamble, and it's definitely paying off, because now that he has all the information, they could definitely go there and win. So this king was not a fool, even though he might go down in history as a fool. But the people that know the truth, they had no choice but to respect this man, because he's a genius for doing this. And so now Sora, he definitely respects her. He definitely respects her grandfather. It was definitely cute the way that that Steph was like crying for him, because even though when like people might look down on him, she at least she'll know the truth, and she can believe that that her grandfather was a great man, because he really was. And that way, I just have so much. I have so much respect for this guy now, just for the way that he played. And so now, obviously from the preview, they are going to go to that kingdom, and they are going to take on the werebeasts, and I cannot wait for that, because it's definitely going to be epic. So overall, the episode, I give it like probably a 7 out of 10, because it was good. Don't get me wrong, I definitely liked it, and I am glad that we learned the true intentions of her grandfather. But overall, this one here was just like a very simple episode. But I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on this. But as always, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe, because that really helps me out. And you guys take it easy. I will see you all next time.